Good evening and welcome to KTN Sunday Night. I am Ann Kiguta. Here are our top stories tonight.
The national officials of KUPPET relinquished their positions forthwith.
KUPPET fallout deepens while NAT says they are willing to negotiate. Kenyans remember Saba Saba as activists plan fresh riots to occupy parliament.
I have a valid ID and all my documents were presented on that particular day, and actually I have no issue.
Kathy Kilonzo and Philip Kaloki to know their fate tomorrow. And the untold story of this unique artist from Nyeri. Tonight we begin on a sad note, and 10 people have been confirmed dead in an accident on the Sagana Bridge on the road from Embu to Nairobi. Eyewitnesses said a matatu on its way to Nairobi from Embu collided head-on with a lorry at the bridge just before 6:30 p.m., killing the 10 instantly. All those injured have been rushed to hospital. We'll bring you more on this story as soon as we have more details. Well, the Kenya National Union of Teachers now says they are willing to sit down and negotiate afresh with the government over the teachers' strike. Their arch-rivals KUPPET are expected to meet with the Education, Labour and Finance Ministry officials and the Teachers Service Commission tomorrow morning to ink the deal to be forwarded to the Industrial Court. But as Rita Tanina reports, all is not well in the house of KUPPET.
The Kenya National Union of Teachers, NAT, says it is willing to sit down and talk with the government if it is invited to talk. But until that invitation comes officially, teachers will remain on strike. Speaking to the Standard on telephone, NAT Chairman Wilson Sosion said the union is ready to talk in order to find a solution that will be to the benefit of all parties, but has not received any formal invitation for another round of talks with the government over the dispute. Meanwhile, NAT's rival union KUPPET is in a matter of hours expected to meet the Teachers Service Commission, the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, officials from the Labour Ministry, the Education Ministry and the National Treasury to sign a document on the implementation of their agreement, which will be deposited at the Industrial Court on the 15th of July. KUPPET has faced defections over its decision to call off the strike, with some of its members decamping to NAT. And now, the management of the union is under criticism from former union leaders.
They do not have the charisma, they do not have the acumen, and they do not have the ability to lead teachers.
The former Secretary General of the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Teachers claims the current officials are running the union without a valid constitution and increased contributions for union dues without the approval of members.
That the national officials of KUPPET relinquished their positions forthwith.
Current KUPPET officials dismissed the claims by the former Secretary General.
How can we respond to an executive officer employed by Kenya National Union of Teachers? How can he convene KUPPET membership when he's aware he lost election in June 2011? Surely.
Mambo ya propaganda na sarakasi ambayo mnasikia isije ikashtua members wetu hata kidogo.
We shall not be moved.
KUPPET says the claims by the former union leader are baseless and maintains that the current leadership is on course in the achievement of demands for better pay for its just over 40,000 members. Rita Tanina, KTN.
On this day, the 7th of July, Kenyans remember the push for reforms by those working under the resistance movement formed 2 decades ago, famously known as the Saba Saba movement. Now, today, a coalition of civil society groups vowed in Nairobi to honor pro-democracy campaigners by pushing for the full implementation of the Constitution. And as a starting point, they announced that they will mobilize Kenyans for a 3-day siege on Parliament next week to fight the VAT bill, which seeks to levy tax on basic commodities that were previously zero-rated. But on KTN Sunday Night Live tonight, we are taking you on a journey of picture and sound through the Saba Saba days as renowned civil rights campaigner Cyprian Nyamwamu speaks to us about Saba Saba. Have the aspirations of the Saba Saba movement been achieved? Watch this first.
Niko njaa hata siwezi karanga. Oe hae shagala bagala. Niko tayari kulipa gharama. Sitasimama maovu ya kitawala. Sitasimama maovu ya kitawala. Ufisadi, ubinafsi, ukabila, kuuza sura wataki kuuza sera. Undugu ni kufaana. Sitasimama maovu ya kitawala. Sitasimama maovu ya kitawala.
Nataka watoto wetu wakatakao kuja nyuma wakute nchi nzuri.
Kazi ya kwanza ya serikali ni kulisha watu wake.
Niko njaa hata siwezi karanga. Uwe hae shagala bagala. Niko tayari kulipa gharama. Sitasimama maovu ya kitawala.
Vision ya Saba Saba ilikuwa ni Kenya tuitakayo. Uga wa Kamkunji una historia. Historia ya wananchi kufanya mapambano ya kujikomboa.
Na mimi nitafanya hivi kama kuna mtu ya matatu ameshikwa ama kuna mwananchi ameshikwa, nitakimbia kila mahali kuona ya kwamba mwana Kenya asilale ndani.
Uwe hae shagala bagala. Niko tayari kulipa gharama. Sitasimama maovu ya kitawala. Sitasimama maovu ya kitawala.
And Reverend Timothy Njoya now joins us live in studio. Thank you so much for coming tonight. We've just run pictures of you being brutalized by police those many years ago. How does it feel when you see those images?
That's just as you would feel if you went to maternity to give birth to a child. You have a purpose for being there. You've been carrying the ideas, the ethos. You have been carrying those sentiments and beliefs, and you want to deliver them. And how the delivery comes, sometimes it can come on a road. So you are not surprised because you already started knowing what the repercussions might be and what the system might do to you, because you want to deprive a system illegitimate sovereignty and give it back to the people. And to that system, which has enjoyed forced sovereignty or usurped, it's very painful. So you are expecting that the system will fight back to stop being deprived of sovereignty and being taken to those from whom it was stolen. Secondly, how do you shift from the sovereignty of the state to the people? You dismantle the constitution that gives sovereignty to that government. So that's why on May 1986, June, I called for the dismantling of the constitution in 1986 and dismantling one-party system, because with those, people could not be sovereign in Kenya. Because again, the problem of the use of sovereignty at that time, which had to be backed by violence because it's not legitimate.
And so many things came out of the Saba Saba movement, which undoubtedly you are literally the face of. Do you feel the aspirations that you had and the team you were working with have been achieved?
As an event, no, but as a process, yes. Because a long journey starts with one step. You could not say that we are shifting sovereignty from the state and give it to the people, and the people are not ready yet, because you need to educate them. They need to get used to saying we are the one in charge and we have the mandate from God. He gave us mandate in Genesis 1, verse 26, to rule and govern ourselves and the world. Before people realize that they are the ones who are mandated to create, to make themselves a state or to create nations, you take time. You cannot grow, you cannot plant a seed one day and expect to live.
And where do you think we are in that journey?
We've already have achieved one of the best revolutions in the world ever made by any nation, by the constitution we have, because it has really done that. Philosophically, we have shifted sovereignty back to the people, from the market, from the state, back to the people, by constitutionally. So we have done a lot of institutional revolution, which required bloodshed elsewhere, like in Russia, or they're trying to do it in Egypt. They cannot. That easily because they started without a document. Ourselves, we have a document which says who we are. Then that is institutional change. Then we have not done psychic change.
In the minds of
In the minds of the people. And the mindset is still the old mindset. The people still think they owe everything to politicians. And until now, you could not have demonstrated for Uga revolution. You didn't want to determine the price of what you eat. You thought it must be determined for you. Somebody must think for you. Somebody must eat for you. And if somebody commits a crime, you say, we are being finished when you asked, because you think that person committed the crime on your behalf.
What's it going to take for Kenyans to change the way they see themselves and power?
What we do now is part of the process. Like we said, the parliamentarians might pay tax. We went to court. I went to court. We won as a citizen. Or like we said, you cannot abolish the salary review commission, salary administration commission. The president could. Kenya power is no longer in the State House. It is in the people. The State House is simply an instrument and a tool of delegated to do that, but it has no sovereignty. It's simply a means to an end. So if people are not feeling that they are sovereign, things can go wrong. But I'm saying those kind of milestones, base and base here, like we said, Parliament cannot do this, and we went and made a point. You see, the voice of the people is the voice of God. So I would say that Kenyans are making various milestones, landmarks are being made to change the psyche now, not to change the institution, because the institutions are in a place at their best. The devolution, everything. But the people who are devoting are not themselves, they are devolving corruption, they are devoking big dictatorship, because they're psychically, they are still the old model. You have not changed the county representatives. They are no longer, they are still property. They are no longer, they are not yet transformed to become human. They are still instruments of the market, not of the people. So to change a representative, to think that he is representing the people, and he is not representing his interest or vested interest, that is what is going to take time. Let me,
as we wind up, just touch on the current civil society movement, and it has been criticized quite a bit and across the board. Even if you look at what is happening within the teachers union, KUPPET and NUT, there is the feeling that civil society has been weakened, has possibly been infiltrated by agents of the state. What will it take to have a robust movement today like what we saw in your time?
You see, KUPPET, NUT, these are not civil society.
They are unions,
they are
yes,
market.
But
unions are called trade unions because they are market. Civil society is disinterested. It's a body which does not work for its own good. It works for them. It is the codification of the mind, the morality, the spirit of the people. It's actually the selfhood of the people. It expresses what the people they want morally, in attitude. It is a spiritual kind of thing rather than being a self-interest. So we have three organizations with the government, we have the market, and we have the civil society. The three, like we have three organs of the government: the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. Also, the society has three organs too, which must countercheck each other: civil society, market, and state. And I'm saying
but the same can be said of civil society proper, that it is not as robust as it used to be because it may have been infiltrated.
It hemorrhaged. The best and the most intelligent, they died intellectually. They went to politics. Some of our best readers, there was a big hemorrhage. And the recovery is going to take maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years before we can, the civil society can gain confidence in itself, because it sees the very people who used to be the leaders yesterday being in the commissions, being, which is government. The moment you become incorporated into a commission, you are no longer a civil society, you are government. Or being given positions, being appointment, they are shifting position from civil society. And when they go there, their performance, it seems that they are using the civil society as a stepping stone for self-interest. They don't persist in implementing. Like you have even in the judiciary, we have people like William Mutoga was a civil society. Kibuza Kibwana now is a government, was a civil society. I'm not prejudging them, but I'm saying when people shift from civil society, like you see people like Raito, who are the original part of the civil society, Orego and all those people, young.
And you look at their performance.
If you look at their performance, where they go, it seems that they are part of, they are just, they were attacking the government when they were outside of it. Now that they're in the government, it seems that we did not train them enough to be able to translate and transform. Yeah.
Very interesting. I want to thank you so much for coming in tonight, and we all certainly do thank you for the very heavy price you paid for our country.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
Well, now a new opinion poll by the research firm InfoTrack reports that a sizable number of Kenyans have lost confidence in both the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission and the Supreme Court due to the March 4th election. The poll was to determine if Kenyans felt the elections were free and fair. The poll shows that 32% of Kenyans no longer have confidence in the Supreme Court, while 48% have confidence in the institution. 20% feel that the Supreme Court is just average. Now, in regard to the electoral body, the IEBC, 28% of the respondents said that they lacked confidence, while 50% said that they still do trust the IEBC in conducting future elections. Majority of Kenyans who did not think the election was free and fair attributed it to the inefficiency in managing the polls. Also, most of those who said they would not vote come the next general elections said that they lacked confidence in IEBC to conduct a smooth process. The research was conducted between the 24th and 28th of May 2013. The poll took in place with 2,343 respondents as part of that survey. We'll take a short commercial break right now. On the other side of this break, I'm back with more news and, of course, Checkpoint.